DICE has a damn wizard team in charge of making their trailers. They just dropped the new one for the They Shall Not Pass DLC, and God, is it good! It's got me hyped for playing it, even though I've already put hours of gameplay up on my channel with some of the content. Well, we now know that March 14th is the official release date for premium members, which is 2 weeks ahead before it becomes available to buy individually. We'll take a look at the trailer as well as some of the art and details of the future DLCs that are coming. But if you've been you don't even have Battlefield, this weekend is your opportunity to play for free. The 3rd through the 5th of March, PC players as well as Xbox members with live subscription can download and play the base game. Something extra special for you guys, my community, though, showing so much love to my top plays and streams and such, EA reached out to me to give away to one of you an Xbox One S Battlefield 1 Edition bundle. Top link in the description down below, and the best of luck to you guys. Without further ado, let's start by taking a look at the trailer and breaking some stuff down, because we've seen quite a bit of the gameplay from this DLC so far. Most of what's in this trailer we have seen before. The new tanks, Behemoth, the new French troops, even the guns, and 3 of the new maps: Fort de Vaux, the Inside Bunker, so we saw in the open fields, similar to St. Quentin Scar, as well as Rupture, with the river and the giant bridge and poppy fields. We've been able to see all this content on the community test environment on PC, but this siege cannon we have not seen. It could be potentially limited to as well the new game mode Frontlines, or even some of the other game modes we haven't seen on the maps, like Rush, Domination, Operations, which there will be new ones coming in this DLC. The biggest takeaway from this trailer that we hadn't seen yet, though, is the Elite class, which is melee only and has a whole mess of grenades on him. This guy, with the spiked mace, gets 2 incredibly fast kills, and that's the only glimpse we get to see of him so far. He's going to be completely melee only, so you're going to have to be directly up close, and I imagine he's going to have quite a bit of armor. But also there, you saw that was the new map, Verdun Heights. This was the only one that we haven't been able to see in the community test environment yet. From my initial impression, it looks like the very first map in Battlefield 1's campaign mission, when you're just across all of these muddy fields, but with a lot more fire. There's also at least 1 bunker off in the distance, so it's not going to be all mud, but it looks like a lot of trenches and uneven fields. Although this does look like only one a conquest objective on the map. We also got to at least see the siege cannon being reloaded and aimed, but nothing from the actual first-person perspective or the damage it can cause. I've played a good amount of this game so far, with over 300 hours in since its release back in October. Needless to say, I am definitely hungry for some new content at this point, so maybe I'm looking at this DLC with too positive of a light because I'm just so hungry for it, but it looks very impressive both visually. The gameplay on Conquest has been decent, although quite a bit hectic. I really enjoy that aspect on Fort de Vaux. Has been my hands-down favorite map of the DLC so far. Very close quarters and all infantry combat. So we saw is what I would call a medium-sized map that has 4 tanks for each side, so it's extremely hectic with tank gameplay, and once the Behemoth comes in, which is the Char 2C gigantic tank, it gets even crazier. If you're infantry, you're pretty much just in a slaughterhouse. Even though Fort de Vaux is just as much of a cluster, I think you have a better opportunity because it is infantry only. I personally love the gun-on-gun gameplay in this game, but TDM and Domination are just a bit too small for me, so to see 32 versus 32 in this map in Vaux has been fantastic. It'll remind you a lot of Operation Metro as well as Locker, but it doesn't have that linear feel to it like it does in Suez, for example, if you've only played Battlefield 1. All of the objectives lined up across the map makes it very difficult and very far you have to travel in order to get the flank routes. Well, on all 3 of the DLC maps we've seen so far, it has been very circular, where you can go to any of the objectives in relatively the same amount of time, and it's much easier to get flanks because they're spread out more in a circle shape. Finally, Rupture has such an open area to it. There's no real ceilings, and there's more planes on this one than the rest. I believe 3 on each side, so you really have to watch out for the darts, but as long as players aren't in trenches, it also makes for a really good sniping map. Because there's this deep valley in the middle, you can snipe all the way across from the objectives at each other. So far I've seen at least good dynamic gameplay between all of the maps, and I've been really impressed with it. The New Char 2C Behemoth, though. Maybe it's just because it's Conquest and some of these objectives can be pretty far apart and the thing moves so damn slow, but it has been nearly useless in almost all of the situations that I've seen and from live streams when I've asked chat. I've never seen it actually cause a comeback in any of the Conquest games. It's extremely effective against the tanks. One-shotting light tanks in the driver's seat and two-shotting heavy tanks. In my opinion, the second seat in it is where the real magic happens, though, because that's the seat with the 20mm gun that obliterates infantry. And because the tank is so giant, you're really seated very high up in that second seat. You don't have a full 360 rotation, but it's at least about 280 degrees or so that you have access to, mainly the back side of the tank. And with a good driver comboed with it and people in the other seats, the thing can cause a lot of destruction. Just doesn't seem that great at playing the objective if everybody just runs away from it. And then once it leaves, recapture the objective. As for the weapons, like I said, I'm very happy with how the guns are being unlocked in the DLC, but there's still no new attachments or anything for it. With what we have, though, they're at least filling in a slot of what is missing, I guess, from the current category of weaponry. For example, the support class new light machine gun, the Shasha, as well as the medic rifle are both much slower firing but heavier damaging rifles and machine guns, but at least so far don't seem very overpowered. And I'm going to do another video talking more specifically about the new sniper rifles, since I know you guys generally are big fans of the snipers, as I am myself. But besides all of this information and gameplay that we've seen, we also got some information about the future DLCs just this week. We know that there's going to be a total of 20 weapons, 16 maps that are going to be coming in the DLCs, and it's spread across 4 of them. This first one being that They Shall Not Pass that I've been talking about. The next one coming is In the Name of the Tsar. Enter the war's biggest front with the Russian army and fight in snow-covered ravines and a freezing archipelago in 4 new maps. Probably the comments that I've read more than anything in requests for DLC is snow-covered maps, fighting in snowy environments. Well, the Russian front is the place for it, and when we're going to be expecting it. Potentially, these could be the largest maps as well if they're fought on the mountainside, and if it's similar to what we saw even in the campaign mission on those flying missions, and an archipelago, which is actually a chain of islands. But because they're freezing, potentially this could be waters that we're not even okay to swim in. The one piece of concept art we do have for this, we get to see the icy river with a train track going out over it with the train, and that bridge has to be destructible. I'm calling it now. It's destructible. We're gonna blow up a train on it. I cannot wait. Hopefully, we're gonna see new behemoths introduced with these future DLCs as well. And if they're going with the concept of new vehicles each time, maybe we would even see a new plane behemoth, maybe? That would be dope. But, of course, we have no idea at this point. Following that is the Turning Tides DLC number 3. Participate in the amphibious warfare of World War I and engage in the Daredevil Zeebrugge raid, the Gallipoli offense, and more. With some hardcore research at Wikipedia, I found that the Zeebrugge raid was actually an attempt by the British Royal Navy to blockade the Belgian port. The British intended to sink ships in the canal's entrance to prevent the German vessels from leaving the port. This could even cater fantastic if they implemented some type of Operation Game mode on the water, with German vessels trying to leave and the British forces trying to lock them in for defense. Huh? And with even deeper research into the bowels of Wikipedia, really just the top couple of lines of a quick search and some great mispronunciations, the Gallipoli campaign took place on the Gallipoli Peninsula, which is where the Ottoman Empire's capital was. Britain and France together launched a naval attack on the peninsula with an amphibious landing in an effort to take the capital, Constantinople, but after 8 months of fighting, did not succeed. Finally, the final DLC, number 4, is titled Apocalypse. Go over the top in the most infamous battles of World War I. Conquer bitterly contested ground with brutal tools and unique weapons, which, you know, have we not been using brutal tools this far and unique weapons? I don't know what to even expect from this. Maybe they'll even go a little over the top with some of their choices. But that's all of the information that we have so far. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I've had a lack of content so far dropped in terms of DLC from these guys, but I'm extremely excited to see what's coming from them in these, and it sounds damn exciting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about the new trailer as well as the They Shall Not Pass DLC, since we have most of the information now, and even the future DLCs that you now know at least a little bit about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give the video a like if you did enjoy and think others would as well. That's it for this one, though. I'll see you soon. This is SwagMountain 64, over and out.